Yo, what's up gang, it's RUNALO right here. So today I'll show you some mixing techniques that make your song or beat 10 times harder, smoother and wider. The videos of beat makers you're watching on YouTube, they're just using soft clipper on master cause they're not mastering the final output. They are just making beat like us and they send to the artist. When artists like the beat, then master engineer master that beat and song. But if you are making type beat for your YouTube, or if you want to mix master the song or beat like Playboy Carti, Future and all, then you have to do some extra things in your mix and master. So let's first listen to this beat. So when I mix a beat, first I do leveling, then stereo imaging, then effects like EQ, compressor, reverb and all. Don't just make a melody and throw EQ, compressor and other stuff on that. Think where you want to put that melody in stereo image. When I make a melody, I always give each melody its own dimension. I give each an element specific place to sit. Suppose when you layer 3 synths at the same time, it will sound harsh and not much clean. But when you give a specific place to that each synth using panning, reverbs, delay and mid-side EQs, mid-side compression, it will sound more full and clear. So let's listen to the first melody. Sounds clean. So let me show you first my template, how I organize. I made 3 bus. First one is spice, that is submix. Second is melody bus and last drum bus. Drums are routed to the drum bus. All my melodies routed to the melody bus. These 2 bus and kick and etude routed to the submix. Then submix sending signal to the master. On first synth I put equalizer just to cut the lows and some resonance. I'm not doing much surgical EQing here, just a little bit I do in the melody bus. I'll show you later in this video. Then I added virtual mix rack, just default preset, but I increased the input. The reason I increased the input cause I want analog saturation. When you increase the input, you will get analog saturation based on which console you selected. Powerful consoles in virtual mix racks. Then I added an EQ, just rolling off some lows. I put this 2 EQ just to add color. See, I just increased little bit highs. I can do that from here as well, but I didn't cause, see, in movie there are so many characters like hero, heroine, side heroes, then their friends and other peoples. If you only see hero and heroine in the movie, no other people in it, it's not gonna excite you. The mood gonna be totally different. We always want some excitement, feel and color in every scenario in our life. That's the same thing here. Think like this is hero, his friends, heroine, family. Each have a specific task or things to do. One hero can't do everything. I hope you understand the concept. Then I add compressor. I like this compressor. I set 2:1 ratio. I want around -3 or 4 dB of gain reduction, not much. Then I added some shimmer for more presence and little bit thickness and trimmer just to control the volume. Then here is a thing, very powerful EQ, Fab Filter Pro Q3. Let me turn off this EQ just here. Now with the EQ, massive difference, you definitely hear that. I always recommend you, when you're watching videos like this, always use your studio headphones or studio monitors, cause that thing's made for that. Mobile sounds are made for listening. You are not mixing your songs on your mobile phones. If you are not in the studio right now, no issue, but when you go in your studio, just listen this again. So let me show you with the span what's really happening. I always put span on my current track and I set this to the mid-size stereo and give orange color to this side. So now I'm again turning off the Pro Q3, and in span you will see side frequency in orange color and mid frequency in blue color. So here you can see so much phasing issue happening and also sounds so muddy. Now I'm turning on the Pro Q3. Listen how you get depth and no phasing issue. If you are not using mid-side EQ in your mix set, you should definitely use it, and I'm telling you how to use mid-side EQ in your mix. Your side signal or side frequency should not be going above your mid frequency. Keep your side frequency under the mid frequency always. See, when it orange, that means it going above the mids. We don't want that. People says when you use mid-side EQ it causes phase issue. But I'm telling you gang, it fixes the phase issue. And no one is gonna tell you this. If you want more depth and width in your track, use mid-side EQ. Use visualizer like span. Then I added plate reverb on 30%. Then second synth. I added EQ just to cut low and some resonance. Then I added virtual mix rack. I use this preset. I save all my presets. So first I added virtual channel, and this time I choose RC tube. I increase 3 dB of input. Then revival for presence and thickness. Then I boost some gain. Again I'm cutting the size and here boosting, cause I want a little bit width in this. And then reverb. Remember, all hall reverbs add heights, room reverbs add width, plate reverbs add depth. Use accordingly what you want in your mix. Like if you want depth, go for a plate. If you want height, go for a hall reverbs. Then add pad. For this pad, first I use virtual mix racks with default preset. I set USA console for this. Just experiment and change the console and listen the changes. It's very subtle, but experiment with knobs. Then I added compressor and revival. Then EQ cutting the loads. Then effect track, I use this preset to make pad more wider and fuller. And I added Pro Q3 after the effect track cause I want to control the sides. I don't want more side, that's why I cut some. And then reverb to add more width. Then I add simple melody. I put virtual mix rack, virtual channel and revival for more presence and thickness. Then portal. If you want to make some crazy stuff, you must need portal, it's amazing. Then I add EQ cutting lows and resonance. Then flangers, I lower the mix knob around 20%. This plugin is crazy. If you want depth and width with some extra sauce, then go for it. Then reverb. Then I add some accent melody. I put shaper box on this first. Then virtual mix rack. Nothing much, I just added 116 compressor with fast attack and fast release. Then revival for more presence and thickness. Then room reverb and delay. Then I added fruity balance cause I didn't want that delay tail, so I automate the volume from here. When the next part comes, delay will stop. This is one more accent. I added delay first. Then I added portal cause I want some vibey shit. Then I add stereo shaper to add more width to this and reverb. On bass I just put virtual mix rack. I use this preset, virtual channel, then rolling off some lows, cutting some low mids, little bit compression, revival for thickness. So all these melodies are routed to the melody bus, and here I added Soothe for cutting some resonance. This plugin is very powerful, I'm telling you. Then I add RVox to glue them together. I'm doing little bit compression. Let's move on drums. First I add a kick. For the FX I use EQ, cutting the low frequency, give more room to the 808. Then virtual mix rack, virtual channel to add more saturation. Then adding some low mids. Then compression. I use this compressor a lot on kick. Then revival to make kick more thick. On the 808 I use virtual mix rack, virtual channel. This time I'm using this console. I like how it sounds on 808. Then EQ, rolling off some lows and low mids. Then compressor, I use this preset, very great compressor for 808. Then revival for more thickness. Then Pro Q3. Then I add virtual tape machine. I set to 15 IPS and set to this machine type. For the clap I put virtual mix rack, then EQ boosting some highs, then FG stress for color only. You can see I set the ratio 1:1. I want only distortion from this stress, not the compression. Then revival and reverb to add depth to the clap. First EQ on a snare to cut the lows, then virtual mix rack. I add a saturation and EQ, then reverb. On hi-hat I use virtual channel, boosting some highs and revival, then reverb. And all the percussion I use reverb only and leveling. All these drums and melody routed to the spice, that is submix. So here I put Soothe to tame the high resonance. I want everything smooth. Then virtual mix rack. This time I put virtual mix bus, then equalizer, then bomber, and last tape machine. So let me turn off all this plugin and let's listen. It sounds good but sounds weak and not punchy. Now with all the effects. On the master I use Pro Q3 cutting the lows, then Ozone 11. First I added EQ, lowering some lows and boosting some highs. Then Impact, it's a transient shaper. Then Imager. I see so many people boosting low mids and all the bands in studio image without knowing what they are actually doing. Let me show you. Let me solo only melodies cause our drums already in mono. So here are 3 options. Second one is very useful. When I increase this band, you can see so much phase happening. See, we fill all the spectrum. We don't want that. When you stay in V shape, that means you are in fades. In second option, if you go below that line, it colors become red. That means you are out of fades. Then I dynamic EQ to custom muddy frequency and limit heights. I always use dynamic EQ in mastering. It controls dynamic range very well. You can also use multiband compression. Then the maximizer. Always use brick wall limiter at the end of your mastering chain. If you don't have Ozone, you can use FabFilter Pro L2, Waves L1, Plugin Alliance True Peak Limiter. So here I just increase the gain. So this is my go-to chain for beat mastering. I created so many chains. I have mastering chains of FabFilter, Waves plugin, Plugin Alliance, LED Digital, and combination of every plugin. I experiment a lot. So all my kits link in description. If you are interested, please check them out. Do some favor, like, subscribe, and show some love in comments. See you guys in next video. Peace.